Hi guys, welcome to my channel. It's been a while since I've been on here. We just had our first child and we are just soaking up all the memories and moments with her as we can. So I've been a little MIA, but I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. If you watched my previous video, you saw everything I packed in my hospital bag. I knew I overpacked. I packed things that weren't necessary, things that the hospitals would supply and stuff like that. But this video is to tell you what I really needed and what I used and what to bring. I also found out things that I needed that I didn't bring. So let's get started. First things first, I'm going to give you a little backstory about my birth story. So when we went into the hospital, we actually got sent home the first time and it just wasn't right. Timing wasn't right. We weren't ready and she wasn't ready. So we went home and then a few days later we came back and I was ready at that point. I was ready. We were ready to do whatever we could to make this happen. So we ended up staying. My whole entire pregnancy was pretty great. Like, I've heard stories of people being miserable and all these things happening and so on and so forth. Really, I had a pretty awesome pregnancy. The only thing I did struggle with at the beginning was I did get sick and I didn't really have an appetite at first, but then throughout the pregnancy all that changed and I was just really enjoying just being pregnant. Women's bodies are so incredible, and to be able to house another human inside of me was just like a gift from God. So that was awesome. Well then in my last few weeks of pregnancy, I actually developed what's called PUPS, and it's where like your stretch marks get inflamed and they itch really bad. So I struggled really bad with that at the last few weeks of my pregnancy, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it at all. It was miserable. Like, I was like, there's nothing to even describe it. You can't even compare it to anything. I just feel like I was like itching from the inside, and luckily that's over with. But that was my biggest struggle throughout the entire pregnancy, was that, and it didn't last long, but it lasted long enough. So when I went into labor, I actually started to develop a rash, and that rash was making me itch again, and I was like, what in the world, like, why is this happening? And on top of that, I started getting really hot, and I was like, when you're hot and but your like body's cold, you shake. Well, I was hot, my body was hot, but I was still shaking, and I was shaking uncontrollably. It was rough. Like, the whole time that was happening, it was rough. I actually spiked a fever while I was in labor as well, and that was no fun. We tried for hours to get my fever to break, and finally it did. But this is why. The almighty fan. A lot of people laughed at me when I said I was bringing a fan to the hospital because, one, it had a cord, which it didn't really matter at that time. We did whatever we could to make it work. This was my lifesaver. I had cold rags, ice packs, everything on me, and nothing was cooling me down. But having this fan right in my face, I didn't even care. Like, it just helped a lot. So if you're hot-natured, or if you are scared that this could happen to you, or whatever, I mean, whatever the case may be, bring a fan. This was like my best friend in the hospital. So let's talk underwear, mesh diapers, Depends, panties, whatever you want to call them. I was very thankful that I brought Depends with me. Let's just start from there. So when you go to the hospital and you have your baby and you're going through everything, like, so much is going on, you don't even care what's happening. Like, as long as your baby's safe, you're safe. Everything else that's going on, you're just like, whatever. So after I gave birth and all the things were happening. I actually kept my fever throughout the childbirth process, and then also Harper was born with a fever, so because of that she had to go to the NICU and all these things were happening. So anyways, when she left, it was time for me to clean up. Luckily we were able to do skin to skin for an hour before she was wheeled off to the NICU, which was my #1 request. I really wanted that, so I'm so thankful that happened. But anyways, once she left, we went into the bathroom. I went into the bathroom with my nurse, which, Lindsay, you were my lifesaver. I am so thankful for you. I hope you're watching this. So we went into the bathroom and she's helping me clean up, and because we did skin to skin, I had all of baby stuff on me still, so we kind of just did like a bath or whatever. Well, then she gives me the mesh underwear. So the dreaded mesh underwear look like this. They come in a package like this. There's actually 2 in here. Let me show you these bad boys. So you get these mesh underwear, right? Literally look like, what's that stuff called? Gauze that you like wrap around a cut or whatever. Yeah, this wonderful stuff. So they come in this package. Open them up. This is them. This is all you get. And at the moment you're like, okay, whatever, I'll take whatever you give me. You get these. She gives you 2 long pads. You put the pads in there, whatever, so on and so forth. This might be TMI for some people, but just bear with me. So anyways, you get these. And you're like, okay. Guys, what is this gonna hold? Like, you just had a child come out of you and they give you this. Like, at the time I was like, I'm just going with it. I'm like, alright. Once I get to like my post delivery room or whatever, I'm looking at these things and I'm like, what? Anyways, so no, these were a no-go for me. I'm so glad I brought my Depends with me because they were so much more comfortable. Also, I did notice that these hold nothing. If you can't tell, they hold nothing. So every time I was getting out of bed, I was having to change the little green pad underneath me, and that sucks. And it sucks for the nurses because then they have to bring it to you, and it sucks for you because then you're like, have to ask for it, and then you have to clean yourself up and all the things. So no on those. Bring these. These are the Always brand. They have just a cute little design on them, and they are actually like diapers, like what you would expect. But another thing that I recommend is bring heartburn medicine. If you experience heartburn, or if you experience heartburn throughout your pregnancy, more than likely you're going to have it in the hospital, and they let you take your own heartburn medicine, like Tums. Definitely bring it, because if you don't bring it, they'll have to call and order it from the doctor, and that takes way too long. So definitely bring your own. My #1 tip is to ask for more. Ask for more everything you can, honestly. It's better for your insurance to pay for it than for you to pay for it later, so ask the hospital for it because they'll give it to you. My #1 thing that helped me so much that I asked for more of was they gave me, like, when I started breastfeeding, they gave me the breast pump in there. At the time, I didn't know that I wasn't going to be producing milk right away, but I asked for the breast pump and they brought it in there and they brought all the things for it. Well, then a lactation specialist came in and spoke with me, and she brought in a whole nother set of stuff, and it definitely helps when you're at home. If I just had what I had from home, I would only had one set, and I wash it so much. So having the 2 sets I got from the hospital, and then I got an additional set afterwards, plus the one I had prior to. So I have 4 different sets of pump stuff, and I literally go through it so quick, and it helps having more so you're not washing the dishes as much, because that sucks. Ask for nipples and nipples for your bottles, because they'll give them to you, and they give them to you in like a mass amount. Here's an example of what I'm talking about. So when when I first started nursing, I was producing, but it was like we wanted to make sure we were getting every single ounce. The patient specialist came in and she gave me a syringe. So she gave me a syringe, told me I need to like suck it out of the syringe with the syringe and keep it, so whenever she's hungry, I make sure she's getting all the milk possible. Because at first you only produce the colostrum and then your milk comes later, but you want to save every single ounce that you can. It's like liquid gold. So I was like, oh, okay, well, once you use the syringe, you can't really wash it in the hospital. So I asked for another syringe. Well, instead of just bringing me like a few, they brought me like their whole supply of syringes. And like, that's just an example of what they'll bring to you. So definitely ask for more. Some things I want to go over that I didn't need was the diaper bag. I did not need the diaper bag. Just throw a few clothes in your bag for a baby. The hospital will supply you with your diapers and your wipes, unless you're like super strict about what diapers and what wipes you want to use. Use the hospitals until you get home and then switch them. That's what I did. But didn't need the diaper bag. Just pack whatever you need to pack and throw it in your bag, so you're not having to carry a whole extra bag with you. Also the boppy, I didn't really need the boppy. They had plenty of pillows there. I probably took like all their pillows, honestly. I asked for more. I just kept asking for more pillows. So boppy wasn't needed. You just use a pillow. Simple. One thing I wanted to bring that I didn't bring was a water bottle. I didn't need it, but just having my own water bottle would have made me feel a little bit better. With everybody coming in and out and the water being open on the table, I'm just worried about that. So that is my what I really needed at the hospital video, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helps you, and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you soon. Even if you're low on what you have, or not, you'd be low, you would ask for more. What is it called? Lactation. The lactation specialist. Oh, I hope I'm saying that right. Anyways.